course, our YouTube channel. You want to watch the show online? Just tap Nighttime Heat out on your Facebook or on your YouTube. And of course, you're going to watch the show online and enjoy the show as well. We are also streaming live on our on Prime FM Morovia 105.5. Again, the Prime FM Morovia 105.5. We are streaming live. Well, tonight promises to be very interesting as always. I know my panelists are coming in gradually. I will have one already seated. I'm sure Moses Sandy will shortly join. George Kennedy, also Edwin Famula. All of them will soon take their seats. And of course, tonight, very incredible guys. They are always poised to do justice to the discussion. And so, I enjoy them when they are around. They get the they get the student lively, and everybody speaking his or her own opinions. I'm trying to get a female panelist. Very shortly, I'm sure I'm going to have one female on the program or two females on the program. Like we said, this program is basically intended, or this is basically intended to allow diversified views, not just one view. One view, people beating the drum and dancing the drum for the national government. No, that's not a view. One, or somebody is there on the other side beating the drum and dancing for the opposition. No, one diversified, one mixed views. A mixture of views where everyone can come on board and discussing the national issues and can find a common ground. And that's the reason why we saw it prudent to have this Nighttime Heat rented on Prime FM. And so let me just acquaint you with what is coming up. A major local daily reported today, and of course, we've been trying to make some research about our president trying to seek the intervention of Macron in helping to end the border dispute. We're going to read that story, and of course, my panelists is going to do their own analysis regarding that. Also tonight, I'm sure you heard that the government has finally broken silence. Since the president attended the Tripartite meeting with Guinea and Sierra Leone, and he came back and he spoke to the people of Liberia, and the government has been a bit quiet on the issue. But today, the Ministry of Justice spoke. We have that tape. We're going to discuss it. And that was a very strong, and we're just talking about that last night, that people should stop making incendiary comments, comments to inflame, the situation. And he spoke very well. We're going to play that video and also talk about that. Now, we're hearing from the Guinean military spokesperson, Asumana Kamara. Is he really saying that the three presidents did acknowledge that the Makona belongs to Guinea? Is that what, we're going to try to get exactly what he said. And of course, we'll talk about that as well tonight. The EFFL, is that the way to call them? The Economic Freedom Fighter of Liberia. Let's leave the border issue small and talk about some internal politics here. The EFFL has declared what it calls a deep frustration with the UP alliance. The EFFL of our good friend Emmanuel Gonkwa. They formed that alliance with the Unity Party, and they've been bedfellows. Speaking the same language and advocating the same administration. But now it seems that things are taking a shift because the EFFL has released a very strong statement, hoping to speak with Mr. Gonkwe. He said it tonight, to tell us basically what is happening, because it's we understand the EFFL is wanting a shift. Where are they going? Where do they intend to go? We'll talk about that tonight. And of course, the National Port Authority is advancing continental data port reform. They are in a meeting, in a workshop in Ivory Coast, and we got this dispatch, and we think it's quite necessary to talk about because it has some benefits to the people of our country. Well, that's the shape of the program tonight. Just to make sure to share the live video, so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones can also follow what's happening tonight on the program. Share the live video, please. And of course, you want to watch the show. You want to watch the show online because we are also online. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. Just tap Nighttime Heat either on the Facebook or out on the YouTube. And of course, going to follow the show online. Yes, I know we got a little bit of technical, but we'll try to resolve that. Let me try to welcome our guests, my panelists quickly, and then we'll get the ball rolling. Gentlemen, welcome. Beginning with Davis Benedictus Erasmus Nambwe. The man was gripped by fever yesterday. He couldn't come to the program, but thank God for him that he has waken up. And when I said I know by God's grace, David will kick. You'll wake up from his bed, and the fever will go, and he will be here in the evening. Dave, welcome.
I'm a child of God. So
how frequent do you go to church?
So whatever the devil
how
does,
frequent do you go to church?
Every Sunday Sabbath.
Okay, that's good.
Every Sunday Sabbath. Yeah, so thank you guys, and it's good to be here. And I'd like to say good evening to everyone that is following us.
Okay, let me welcome Edwin. Now, he's not. I think he's not new anymore. He's not from the he's not in the plastic bag anymore because he's gone practicing the law now. Edwin, welcome.
Well, no, I've actually not started fully practicing yet because the practice is you have to be licensed before you practice. So I'm waiting for the exam. After that, and then we start full practice.
Also, after you've graduated, you have to take the
bar exam. Okay. Yeah, you see
But what is the significance of that?
The legal profession is almost like the medical field because it has some very significant part that you have to play on the lives of the ordinary citizens.
Do you pay for the exam?
Of course, you have to pay.
I think it's just
you have to pay an annual bar fee.
I think it's a strategy by the bar to just
no
and raise some revenue. What is the essence?
No, it is universal everywhere in the world.
You sat down in the class.
It is universal everywhere in the world.
No, come in. You sat down in the class for 2 years.
More than 2 years.
More than 2 years.
3 years.
And I think you learned the law well. But what is the essence of bringing exam by the bar? I think the bar just want to raise some money.
Like I said, it's universal everywhere, even in the great United States. When you graduate from law school,
we're not talking about United States.
I'm coming, so I'm saying everywhere in the world, whether Nigeria, Ghana, you have to sit the bar.
So how much do you pay there?
No. I made a note now because
you should be asking by now, man.
Like I said, there are license fee that you have to pay every year. Now, the reason for that is that you have to have a license to practice because you're dealing with people life are in your hands.
So you don't know how much for the license fees?
No, I would not know, but I don't think that should be anything. But it's different between counselor at law and for attorney at law.
So you think it's more than $500?
It should be around that amount.
But that's a huge money. But the bar been making money, man. They've been raising lots of revenue.
Well, that's a different politics for another day.
George, how you doing? I let
the former bar president was right here.
Yeah, surely.
You didn't ask it.
Say he turned to the other side.
I didn't know at the time.
Say he turned to the other side now. He doesn't know us again.
No, he doesn't come. In fact, the other day, I tried calling him. And he said, the farmer. And he said, I'll make time to come on the program, but we haven't seen him,
But anyway, that's what the media does. We dare to work for the people. We make you. We have to make you. If you are made, it's up to you to look back to say, look, where all the trend you pass, where all the people that give you their platform, free of charge. Anyway, good evening. Thank you for the show. I mean, I see Mr. Sandy, you know, Mr. Sandy look very, very handsome. He look younger today.
The man saying he has come prepared to counter every counter.
The man is vindicated.
And somebody, the Liberia Bar Association is not a press, you know, Liberia. That has a floodgate.
You see, you're about to.
There's a floodgate. Anybody can just.
The state is not allowing us to function as the fourth estate. That's an issue.
That's the issue, I'm not trying jobs.
The state is not giving us our legal right to actually.
But are we pushing for the right?
We're pushing, and every time we use this platform, you know, it's the same thing we're discussing today.
Okay.
Look, let me tell you, who becomes journalist in Liberia, who runs media
should be determined by the president of Liberia.
Government of Liberia. Not just anybody just gets something.
We'll talk about that later on, gentlemen. Maybe tomorrow we'll use that. But Moses, let's welcome you to the program. Got a lot tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to every one of you. Yes, George, you're absolutely right. I came in a real upbeat mood. I feel vindicated. And it's good to be. I want to say welcome to our Tagbe, it's good to have you. Soon to be Antonia Law Farmerlet. It's also good to have you in the house. And the lead himself, Mr. Sobot, Sobot George, is good to be back. For people in Liberia, it's always a pleasure to come in. And quickly, I just want to say something. I want to piggyback on what so Anthony to be Mr. Famulet said. Most professional organizations, it is a standard. It is a requirement. I was speaking to you with a graduate degree in social work administration. To practice in the United States at my level, I have to be licensed. So I am fully licensed in the United States on an annual basis.
Okay.
Licensing is renewed. It's not to generate money for the National Association of Social Workers, but it is part of the requirement. There are required trainings that need to be done on an annual basis. So I'm sure with the BAS Association, when Mr. Family is licensed, before he goes for renewal, he will be required to do some. For the media, journalists are not licensed, has to do with free speech. So the question here is, who is going to? Someone may say the licensing board may begin to, encroach on the right of journalists. That's why I think in most society the media is not licensed. Thank you.
All right, Moses, thank you. And then of course, let's just go again over our major discussions tonight. We've read and also heard that President Borja is reportedly seeking the intervention of Macron in helping to end this border crisis. We're going to read exactly what was printed today. And also, is it true that the Guinean military spokesperson, Asumana Kamara, is he saying that the three leaders did acknowledge that the Makona belongs to Guinea? We're going to look at that as well. Also, on this program tonight, is the government really communicating on this issue? Are we really getting? Yesterday, they broke silence, but that took some time. Are we really getting the government's communication on this issue? The EFFL, that's of the man Emmanuel Goncoy, has declared, what he called a deep frustration with the UP alliance, and of course, he's warning a serious shift. Where is he trying to go again? Why is he, being frustrated over the UP alliance? We'll talk about that. The MP, that's National Police Authority, is advancing continental data port reform. We're going to talk about that as well. Now, gentlemen, let's try to take our first video. We all are quite aware that today the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, the Minister of Justice, Oswald Tuer, held a major press conference. And let's try to listen to what he had to say, and then we'll do our own takeaways. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat, right here on Prime FM.
And we are here today to provide clear update on the government's actions to safeguard our borders and ensure the safety of our citizens. The government wants to inform the Liberian public that it is in full charge of the situation and will continue to address it with the highest degree of maturity and wisdom necessary to protect our sovereignty and territorial integrity. Our government has determined that a lasting and peaceful solution will be possible through intensive dialogue and multiple diplomatic engagements. These efforts have been directed at the highest level by our president, who continue to exhibit responsible leadership. Since early March this year, the government has dispatched various delegations to the borders, and on March 13, 2026, dispatched a high-level delegation to Conakry, Republic of Guinea, to meet with officials of the government of Guinea to discuss the matter and prevent future incidents. These advanced engagements culminated in the visit of President Barker and the President of Sierra Leone, His Excellency Julius Maada Bio, to Conakry, Guinea, to meet and discuss with the President of Guinea, His Excellency Mamadi Doumbouya. The significance of President Bio flying with President Barker on the same plane demonstrates the courage and strength necessary to consolidate regional peace and stability. The three leaders held cordial, frank, and fraternal discussions that culminated in the signing of the communique. The communique acknowledged the historic ties, common tribes, tradition, and culture, as well as the spirit of the friendship, solidarity, good neighborliness, and cooperation that unite the three countries, and the leaders affirmed their commitment to its implementation. The communique affirmed the leaders' unwavering commitment to the principle of the inviolability of borders and territorial integrity, but it makes no mention or reference to maps or any such documents. The three leaders in the communique call for a return to status quo of peaceful coexistence. Our government has taken additional actions to deploy and reinforce the joint security of our borders to maintain calm and ensure a robust presence in the area. Our goal is not escalation, but a restoration of confidence and the protection of our people. The government of Liberia calls upon all its citizens, especially those living along the border, to exercise restraint, mutual respect, and to preserve the historical bounds of peaceful coexistence. Liberia is a nation of peace, and we will continue to engage our Guinean brothers and sisters through the spirit of the Mana River Union, which is expected to begin very soon. The government warns all citizens and residents alike that statements and analysis intended to inflame and undermine our efforts will not be tolerated. The issue of conflict and threat of escalation is sensitive and must be treated with the utmost patriotism. There have been raising numerous comments, commentaries, statements, utterances, claims, allegations, etc. on social media and the print media about the situation at the Liberian-Guinean border. These comments have the dangerous propensity of inciting fear, panic, and chaos within our communities. This could cause unnecessary provocations, and the very positive approach of the government could be jeopardized. The government calls upon all to desist from making statements that will create instability and escalate the situation. We again reiterate that the national security institutions and agencies are in full control of this situation, and all non-state actors should resist from acting outside our constitutionally defined framework. While the government reaffirms its commitment to the rule of law, freedom of speech and the press, and the upholding of our democratic principles, we will not hesitate to take appropriate legal action against individuals conducting themselves in a manner inimical to the country and its people. Moreover, we hereby inform you, our citizens, that there are lots of fake AI-generated images, photos, and videos on social media about this situation. Hence, we want to admonish you to be aware of them and don't panic when you see them or run to judgment or base your judgment upon them. Most of them will be false. In these times of the collective survival of our nation, the patriotism and nationalism of our citizens are tested. In nationalism, the peace and stability of our country comes first, and our patriotism cannot be compromised. We, your government, will represent you well. We will do everything to ensure that our peace is not threatened. I thank you.
All right. So, gentlemen, that's the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, also toured to this, speaking at the MACAT special press briefing. And I think all of us listen to him. The press briefing of the minister today comes in the face of mounting public concerns about the government not speaking much on the issue. So if you listen to many media institutions, people have been expressing concerns that they were not hearing from the government as to the status of the situation at the border. But we heard today the Minister of Justice has said, among other things, that the government is in full charge. And I think that alone has the capacity to restore hope. And like you said, the government is also handling the issue with maturity and wisdom. And then among other things, he made a very strong, sounded very strong, a strong caveat against, people making incendiary comments. But let me hear from you quickly. Dave, you listen to the Minister of Justice. What's your takeaway?
Quite recently, we had a similar discussion about the government's position or handling of the ongoing crisis near the border. That was followed by a very strong statement from the president when he addressed the nation. Emphasizing that Liberia would approach the matter with the best of diplomacy, and that the Liberian government has no intention to take actions that would escalate the situation. Mm-hmm. So the Justice Minister is almost sounding the same, or blowing the same trumpet that the President of the Republic blew quite recently, that the government is handling the situation from a peaceful perspective and not being carried away by speculations or statements coming from some Liberians, statements that are counterproductive with efforts that the government is making to resolve the ongoing crisis near the border with Guinea. There are so many people who are speaking. In fact, one of the prominent citizens that made a statement that I understand that is being even quoted on radio stations and television stations in Guinea, Yeke Koloba's statement, will understand that most radio stations, people making reference to the ongoing crisis, are now quoting Yeke Koloba that that piece of land belongs to the Guinean government. In fact, some Liberians are suggesting that Yeke Koroba be expelled from the legislature or the House of Representatives specifically, or even be charged with treason to have made such a statement. And so the Justice Minister is speaking from that background where a lot of Liberians are making comments unnecessary in terms of the government's efforts in quelling the situation at the Guinean and the Guinean Liberian border. Why the government is making these efforts to bring to a matter to a diplomatic end. There are other Liberians who are thinking otherwise.
Okay, let's hear from you.
I do
Mr.
believe
Franklin.
that, yes, I do believe, quite frankly, I think the government continuing to show maturity in the handling of this incident from the onset. And like David rightly said, the president was the first who, after engaging with his counterpart, decided to address the nation, not through anybody but himself, came on and addressed the nation as to the level of engagement that he, as the president of the state, have had with his counterpart and where they are, and admonishes people that the government will keep following up on those engagements. The Justice Minister today, yes, also as the head of the security apparatus, also had to come out to actually reinforce what the president have said. Because in these circumstances, when the national apparatus remains silent, people start to insinuate, people say things that they're not supposed to say, and we do not support those comments or so. But however it is, sometimes people get overzealous. Sometimes people feel that the actions from the other group of people is counterproductive. So they would definitely respond to it with some kind of sentiments. However, I think the Justice Minister have said it that, look, allow the state to deal with this issue with, we are at very level of engagement so that we make sure that we actually solve this thing. And again, the Liberian people are watching, they are taking notes of all of these things. And I think the state will have to just maybe take a little further move so that life in that area return to normal, so that our people can go back to their towns and villages to make their farm.
Okay,
that's what I
let's hold you there. Josh, your takeaway.
Well, it's the same message the president delivered the other time that the chairman of the Joint Security re-echoed today. I was actually waiting to get new information, something new, like progress since the president's statement. Okay, but it's the same. The president told us that people should refrain from making statements that will have the propensity to undermine the ongoing diplomatic efforts. The Justice Minister said the same thing today. The president told us that the government was pursuing this thing diplomatically. The Justice Minister said that today. The president told us also that at the level of the MRU, even to ECOWAS and above, the Justice Minister repeated the same today. So it's the same message, but it's good to speak, for them to speak to us, because it will help to calm down the tension in the country. It will help to calm down the tension. And some of the things that the public will expect is fresh information since that time to today, what has been achieved. It will be very necessary, because we came from a situation far back that a lot of people in the country, hundreds of thousands of people in the country, you can't teach them violence. So it's necessary always for the public to be updated, and government should continue to, take ownership of the situation, so that some of the fears of some of those people will be allayed, and even ordinary people to allay the fear, because we expected that by now we would have been hearing say, Guinea is considering pulling back maybe this time, this, and all of those things. We know that even this matter has gone to even the colonial masters, colonial masters of the Francophone countries. for them to see, because they got a document. The U.S. government got a document. Everybody got to look. You have to talk to your brother. We don't need this and that. We know the effort, but,
okay, you made a point. Yeah. Moses, let's hear from your takeaway. Listening to the Minister of Justice.
Well, I applaud the pronouncement from the Liberian. The reinforcement is very necessary, and it comes in the wake of pronouncements that emanated from non-state actors, such as the quote-unquote General Bodneke and other, who participated in the Liberian Civil War, the group from Nimakane. This pronouncement clearly states that, hey, we will not appreciate anyone making statements or doing anything that have the propensity to undermine the effort by the government to resolve this problem amicably. There was indeed a strong warning to General Bodneke and other warmongers that they need to put a halt on what they are doing. For a group of people to sit in Lima and give ultimatum of 7 days, that's not good. For somebody to come and boast about his a former rebel, that's not good. And that's what the Justice Ministry spoke today. But as the minister spoke, 2 things that really stood out to me. First, the situation on hand has to do with international relations. You have a foreign military invading your country. Who handles that is the Minister of Defense. Where is Liberia's Minister of Defense? Liberia.
Just for information, she was at the press conference
along with the Chief of Staff.
Chief of Staff was there. So the Justice Minister is the chairman of the Joint Security. So that's why right there he had the authority there to speak today. I think that's why they allowed him to speak.
Well, yeah. So Gary, I'm sure Sobo, Tagbe, many of us will cover the Liberian Civil War. When Liberia was at war with itself, the Minister of Defense was. We're talking about what? Aggression from the foreign country. You can't have the Minister of Justice handling this.
Okay.
And then, quickly, the Minister of Justice says something about AI generated videos, AI generated.
I was just coming to that.
Yes, and let me just say this. He used the word most. I beg to differ with the minister on that. We have seen videos emanating from Lofa County with Liberian reporters speaking to people. You can tell me they are AI generated. No. That's an over amplification. And this is where the government has to be truthful. Let me pause there. Go ahead, George.
Now, I think the AI generated generated materials that you're making reference to, we saw some in recent time, especially when the president was just about to go to attend the Tripartite meeting. There was an AI-generated picture on social media
where the president
was dressed in military uniform and carrying a pistol on his side. I think those are the AI-generated materials that the minister is making reference to. But gentlemen, like you said, you wanted additional information. George,
information.
The government has continued to emphasize that it has taken the path of peace and using diplomacy to end the crisis. Now, what it would have meant for the government if the government had come up. Yes, the government did extremely well, trying to raise, the hope of the people that look, we are in full control. The issue is being handled diplomatically with wisdom and maturity. But what it would have cost the government? You think that would have been? Is it a way of providing additional military information if the government had come up to say, look, we've begun reaching out. We've begun, reaching out maybe to the U.S. or to some, major powers, to intervene, because not much of the effort that's been communicated. Let's hear from you.
Mostly diplomacy is not work out in the public. It's work out behind closed doors. And the reason for that, there are sensitive information that have exchanged in those corridors, and then you want to leave it with those powers to be able to work around the situation. And I think that's where we are.
Let me just come. Let's assume meetings, discussions being taking place behind the scene, and a meeting had been arranged as a result of that meeting, as a result of those discussions. What is wrong with
so the gains that would be made?
What is wrong with informing the public as well that, look, we have a meeting set for August or set for April, and it's part of part of our effort to end this whole crisis. Wonderful.
Like I said, these are sensitive issues, right? So all of those efforts that have been made, once it starts to yield fruits, the public will get to know, and then the public will be informed. In fact, I was even told that I think even the U.S. government issued a statement on this whole stuff. I think on yesterday or so, there was some circular that I actually didn't read it, but I was told that it came from the U.S. on this whole border crisis. So definitely, Liberia is reaching out to her partners. In fact, even one of the local daily quoted that that we've even reached out to France. So all of these efforts have been played behind closed doors. And like I said, you don't want to jeopardize it to come out and start saying, oh, we're reaching out this, we're doing XYZ. So that's not effective way of managing this kind of a crisis or so.
Okay, let me hold it. George.
Yeah, so first I wanted to clarify that the situation at Ebola is not war. It's not military war yet. Liberia has not taken over. So that's why you see the civilian head of the military, of the national security sector still speaking. If the defense minister is going to speak dressed in the military attire, or the chief of staff going to speak dressed in the military attire, will send a kind of signal that Liberia is, intending to do. Yeah. So back to the issue, I agree with Mr. Famule. In diplomacy, most risky things, most things that people believe that cannot be resolved can be resolved behind the scene. There are deals that can be crossed sometimes that they will come to the surprise of the public, and now you just see certain positive action in your interest.
Let me go a bit briefly.
What I wanted to hear really, because it is, we are journalists. Some of the things I wanted to hear, the Justice Minister touched on it when he said at the Manarua meeting soon. Soon. And that was, I think, the new thing that he said there, because once Manarua Union is convening a meeting, it means that this will be the top issue on the table. All right. So these are some of the things we want to hear. We're talking with our international partners. We have reached out to our friends, our friends will see how to harmonize this thing, because they're the same families. If you look in Guinea, you look in Liberia, they're the same people. And I really love the way Liberia is approaching it, right? And at the end of the day, quite frankly, if they result diplomatically, it will be a little bit of diplomatic embarrassment to the aggressor, because they will see that these people, if you're like somebody slap you and you look at them and you say, look, what Jesus said when somebody slap your left ear to the right ear. So forgive 70 times 7 days and that. So the person can get angry. Let me just leave and they'll be my friend, because I can get closer to them.
Okay.
Sometimes,
all right. That's what Moses. When you spoke, you made reference to some of the comments that we've been hearing, especially from former General Bodneke and others. And you said the government response is in reaction to that. Statement is in reaction to that. I think the two year in any way, the government mentioning them. Yes, the 2 year in any way that the government mentioned the statement they made, or the government did condemn, because it comes just as a reaction to statement that they're looking around, Bodnicki and others.
The government did not call out specific names, but if you listen to the video, the government made mention of citizens. The government made mention of non-state actors, their pronouncements, and the government even threatened to go after anyone or any group of people that would do something that had the propensity, to undermine what the government is doing to ensure that this problem is resolved amicably. Then the question that comes, what gave rise to this pronouncement? What gave rise to this pronouncement? You heard General Bodnicki, I think, yesterday or Sunday or so, he was in the media. Whether we like it or not, Bodnicki is a very popular person in Liberia. He's known for what? Committing what? War crimes. So that rings a loud bell. To hear people who murder people in Liberia, from Nimba County, and giving ultimatum, that also gave rise to what? The pronouncement from the government. The government didn't come to say, oh, we're speaking to the people in Nimba. The government spoke in general and issued stern warning that you need to desist. We do not all us.
Okay, thank you. Now, Dave, like Moses said, the reaction of the statement of the government is a reaction to some of the things that were coming out in the social media. Do you see what the government has spoken now, or the pronouncement the government had made? They're going to quiet down all the statements about statements that were coming out aimed at inflaming the situation. We are prepared, and all of that. Do you think they're going to quiet on that?
The first thing is that, Lord, I continually hear that the government is slow in communicating with the citizens as far as efforts to cool the situation is concerned, or are concerned. Actually, I disagree. I disagree because, look, we always have that perception that government should be run in the public. In most cases, even in your personal life, you don't always show people your struggle. You show them your results, your efforts to improve your life or the life of your family. You don't tell people some of your challenges you face in life, but you show them your results. So the government will always discuss some of the things behind closed doors, and not necessarily everything every move the government makes should come in the public. Regarding the utterances from Bodnicki and others, as Moses mentioned, look, Saba, I mean, as Moses said, and I agree with him, these are Bodnicki and others who are blowing the trumpets of war. These are people who go in impunity after they have wantonly, I try to emphasize the word, wantonly killed innocent people during the years of war. And they hear, I remember one time he apologized to the Liberian people for whatever he did during the war. He should be forgiven. Now he's a reverend. Here is the Bodnicki again blowing trumpets of war without realizing that he still owes the Liberian
people. The guy is Joshua Bly.
Joshua Bly. Here is the now self-proclaimed bishop or reverend.
He's an evangelist.
Now blowing the horns of war. He's doing it because he's gone with impunity. He did a lot of things in our years of war, and so nothing happened to him. He apologized. We accepted the apology. He lived in peace so that no one bothers him. So now he's calling for another war. And it's under these kind of circumstances, people like this, people like Joshua Bly and others, they live, that's how they enjoy their life, that's how they amass their wealth under these kind of circumstances.
Okay, yes, Edwin.
So, first of all, I think we have criticized Mr. Milton Blai on this medium, and we need to be very careful as to how we say. Yes, his comments might not be what any of us may like, but I don't think in our comment he ever called for war. And sometimes we misquote people, and at the end of the day, when you actually sit down and understand what the person was saying, he was not calling for war. So let's be candid. I don't think any Liberian within our borders, those who suffer the consequences, those who live here, those who saw what happened, will ever want to even hear a gun sound. So let's get that clear. In as much as we don't support his statement, but I do strongly believe that government has the capacity to solve this problem amicably. And as the president has said over and again, as the justice minister reiterated today, to my brother Moses Sandy point.
So why, if you don't see, why?
Please, you were speaking.
You
were speaking. You said all the things. You didn't listen to Milton Blai.
No way.
You misquoted him. You were speaking.
Please. You say he doesn't. You say he doesn't support what Milton Blai said.
You didn't.
He didn't support it.
Misquoted him 100%.
He didn't say war.
He didn't say war.
Does he really have to say war?
He didn't use the word.
You didn't listen.
First of all, in statement, there are connotative meaning and there are denotative meaning of anything that we say. So the way you understand it is different from how I understand it. The way you interpret it, that's not how I'm going to interpret it. What I understood and what I interpret from his statement, he did not call for war. So let's just leave that. Now, like I said, government has its own way of trying to handle these issues. And I think today, the minister coming out to say, look, we need not to have our citizens making comments that will inflame the situation. I don't want to 100% believe that this comment was geared towards Milton Blai, because
why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Give me time now.
Yeah, but why would you say that?
Give me chance now. Now. We have relatives. Coming out, Chief.
Don't revisit
Chief.
When you brought this man's name out, you brought this name.
Chief, I'm coming out.
Just give me the man prominence on this show.
No, I can Moses react, but why would you say that? I'm just asking a question.
I'm saying this because we have relatives in Guinea. All right? Nobody is even concerned about what Milton Blai said. The person who comments is actually
nobody concerned about what he said. No, that's wrong.
Chief.
That's absolutely wrong.
We're not going
I can say nobody concerned.
Please, let me speak.
Yeah, go ahead.
When it is your time to speak, you speak.
We have to set checkpoints.
You were the person, you spoke things that you don't even know about.
The person,
people listen to you.
The person who comments is actually training right now in the Republic of Guinea, that has been played on radio stations and television stations, is one of our lawmakers.
What does he say?
You didn't know what?
No, just
you actually didn't know what he said.
Producer, the answer.
He was on a public medium.
Mm-hmm.
Where Yaka Koluba, where he publicly said that the land in question that is being contested between the two states belong to Guinea, and because of that, that particular statement now is being used in Guinea.
I did say that.
All right. So let us not. So the government itself, all right, was speaking in two-fold. Now, when you hold certain position in the society, much is expected of you. Honorable Koluba is a sitting lawmaker. So people across the border.
Did he say? Did Honorable Koluba say that if Guinea, bring war, Guinea will have a lot to lose?
That Milton Blai voice right there.
I'm coming.
That's what Milton Blai said.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
He didn't say.
Okay.
But the Guineans are also not. But the Guinean are not also using that statement. Like I said, they're playing on our Koluba's statement on their radio station.
So let me say from the way Mr. Tagbe spoke, and knowing he's an open-minded person, he listened to Milton Blai, he wasn't going to say what he said. And what Milton Blai said, I don't think any court, any law in the Republic of Liberia can hold him for it. He said, if Guinea declare wars on Liberia, Guinea will have lots to lose. Oh, because he fought yesterday, he was a bad person in Liberia. So anything he says now is just criminal. No, I don't take it that way. That's why I refuse to condemn him.
I take it that way.
No, you did. Okay, so that's why I refuse to condemn him.
That's your opinion.
Number two, I condemn Representative Koliba because he's a state actor. And he's the real enemy. He said, and I quote, he has done his investigation in Lofa. It shows that the land occupied by the Guinean right now is for Guinea. That voice is being played in Guinea. The other statement that came from Nimba, where the ex-general went and gave him ultimatum, it was not good. It was not something good. But that Milton Blahi is
didn't condemn that.
You know what? I cannot compare his.
No,
listen to me. He's a non-state actor. You're not looking at the gravity of this matter. That general, that person who spoke, ordinary citizen, is a non-state
former rebel.
Yeah, he's a non-state actor. When the justice minister referred
so you don't condemn
listen to me.
No,
listen.
No, you don't condemn him.
When the justice minister referred to state actors and non-state actors, the state actors are the people who they are stakeholders in government.
When they speak, it carry weight.
When they speak, carry weight. That man, he's a non-state actor. Milton Blahi is a non-state actor.
But they are former rebels.
Representative Koliba is a state actor. That's why when he said that he did investigation.
Let me ask you a question.
That is debatable. That is debatable.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. Are you trying to shield?
Shield who?
I'm coming. But I've got a question.
Okay.
Are you trying to shield Milton Blahi because he's been associated with the Unity Party, and you're trying to criticize Yeke because he's an opposition?
You narrow it.
No, that's
Let me answer you. Let me answer you.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is not a
because that's an impression.
Listen to me. Listen. You ask
No, we didn't talk about CDC.
But we thought Unity Party, so when you call the party, this is not a CDC situation. Also, I can tell you for sure, Yeke Koliba, right now he was CDC.
How sure?
Oh, you saw all the CDC where he voted people suddenly he went there.
No, but Yeke.
Okay, so let me say this. Yeke also listen to me.
Let me read the chapter. Yeke went to Liberty Party program.
Liberty Party people.
Let me say this to you today. When we're discussing this thing, don't bring political party thing. This is national.
We ask you question.
When you bring it,
we ask you question.
Then you try to put it aside.
No.
It's not complete national discussion.
No, it's not political.
Yeke yesterday, you could see him later. First he went ANC first he was MPP from MPP to ANC, from ANC to UP, from UP later today, that's CDC. All right? Milton Blahi, I don't know his past political association. This time, this one election, I saw him supporting the United Party. Does it mean that the United Party the one that sent him? Is that why you're trying to?
Is that what we're saying?
No, it's not what we're saying.
No,
asking me that question.
No, it's not what we're saying.
That's what you say.
That's why you say you don't want to party issue.
Because
you don't want to bring it.
No. You're trying to misinterpret. You're trying to misinterpret. The thing is, if you can condemn Yeke Koliba, they condemn
Do you know why I condemn Yeke Koliba?
If Yeke Koliba was supporting the Unity Party, he would have sounded
the way he would have sounded the way he sounded. But that's the reality.
So
We have to establish.
No, that's the point.
We have to establish.
Then we go to the politics. We can go ahead.
You are saying
You are
saying that's a part of the heat. You are saying.
Yeah, let me say this.
You are saying I'm coming from.
Don't quote me.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't quote me.
But you said it already.
I'm saying here
so it's Moses
that I condemn the state actor, a lawmaker in Liberia.
But you don't condemn. You don't condemn. You don't condemn.
Nothing.
But let's hold you there. Moses, let's hear from you, please.
Yeah, but look, this is very interesting, right? We all here will listen to the Minister of Justice. And let's be human. The man said the government will go after non-state actors that will say anything that has a propensity to undermine the effort by the government, restore peace. It means the Minister of Justice was making reference to what? The quote-unquote General Bodnike.
That's your interpretation.
No, but you know that's not the main interpretation. That just how you should understand as well.
When they say non-state actor.
We can replay that.
Oh, my man.
Trying to
Can
play that.
they-
We
can
can
they be on
replay
prayer,
that.
man?
They said non-state actor.
Hey, non-state actors,
One
one
minute,
minute, one minute, say that.
1 minute. 1 minute.
One minute.
Let Moses complete. Let
Yeah.
Moses complete.
Yeah.
The man said non-state actors. Where do you put Bodnike? He falls in that category. The former combatants from Nimba, they fall in that category. And other citizens that are making their statements.
He just corrected other citizens. That's it. Why
Let's cue that video again.
No,
That's it. Why
We're not going to play that video.
Let me
They
replay
may already consider the
Why
one
he said
minute.
other citizens?
Anyway,
He just said that.
So if it means most of them are going there. It
Yeah.
means the Minister of Justice was not only referencing
So,
Bodnike, but you're referencing
Everybody, including Yaka Koruba.
But you are being specific about Yaka Koruba.
No,
No,
you
you are being
so
specific.
there's a reason for that, and that is why
What's the reason for that?
you sit like to see that you don't know the political backlash on him.
No,
So
we're about to talk about that now. We're about to talk
All
about
right,
that.
so
Yeah, Moses, go ahead. We're about to talk about that. Go ahead. Moses, tell you. Moses,
let me wrap it up.
sorry,
Why you know people want to bag Yaka Koruba?
Yeah, no, you're not
No, just stop that.
You're making a
No,
show. You're not your
Just stop that.
please,
Moses,
Just stop that.
I beg you, yeah, man.
No, just stop that.
When you replay the pronouncement from the Minister of Justice, he never made reference to any state actor. He said non-state actors. Yaka Koruba is in government. He's a state actor. But did you hear the Minister of Justice say state actors? Absolutely not.
You said non-state actors.
Non-state actors.
And
Blagi falls in our category.
not state actors and
No, but that's what I was requesting. We'll replay
Play
that.
it.
Replay that video.
We're not going to replay. We have to.
I got it in my
proceed.
phone.
We're not going to replay that video.
Play where?
Yeah,
On your radio.
Moses, you complete that?
So let me wrap it quickly by saying that, look, guys, what we're talking about, the government is providing information. And like Mr. Pamela said, you can provide information on the surface. We don't want security detail. If you are planning a trip to go for a regional meeting in Sierra Leone and anywhere in the world, say, hey, the government is making efforts in this direction. The government has not been forthcoming on it. And that's where George Washington came from. What are you doing now to help calm this situation? You can speak on the surface. You don't have to tell us that you have spoken to the minister, to the president of the United States. We don't want to hear that. You can tell us you are talking to what? International partners. All you ask people is what? Maintain the peace. Let me stop there.
Okay, gentlemen, we have to proceed. I know we're about to talk about the what is trending about report of impeachment. We'll talk about that. But before going further, I have a tape that I want us to play. I'm sure we'll play that tape yesterday or day before yesterday. We played that tape. The tape that has to do with the 48 hours for LRRC and the rest of the people to go in. Please play that tape. 148 hours are not yet expired.
I still be my
I will represent you in situation like this.
Read that impression, please.
So in that much I do with the authority vested in me, with my colleagues, fully supporting the pronouncement today. We order the LRRC and the disaster management team to be here in the next 48 hours. They have to address the issue of our citizens that are displaced. With immediate effect, they don't do it, we hold in contempt. And we serve 48 hours because today is Saturday. So over Monday, they should start trooping in here to take care of our displaced citizens. Our citizens I've left the property at the border to troop the family members here, also burning the family members. It is that time they come, they say they can get some rations.
So, gentlemen, the speaker spoke on Saturday. Today is Tuesday. In fact, we are fastly
Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
entering Wednesday. Do we still have the 48 hours yet, or has it elapsed? Moses, let's hear from you.
Look, the 48 hours as defined by the speaker himself. As the 48 hours have expired. We have Anthony here, or soon to be Anthony. Mr. Famula is here. I'm sure you will agree what we talked about. You guys are. Have you seen people going to Lofa giving assistance?
Let me finish. Yes, go ahead, Moses. Moses,
go ahead.
Moses, go ahead.
No, but man,
they were checking their fingers so nobody for the 8 hours still. Or he has not elapsed yet. But Dave, let's hear from you. Moses,
but the first thing I'm looking actually what I'm looking at is the approach of the speaker or the legislature in terms of the intervention of the FRRC. I mean, I think the approach is not appropriate. If even the government were to ask the FRRC to move in, is that the manner in which the government will make such an approach? Like the speaker said, we give it 24 hours, 24, and 48 hours, so almost like a threat to the FRRC. And the other question is, has the government even given the FRRC the resources it needs to make an intervention in Guinea? Yes, of course. It makes sense that our people are displaced and that people living near the border are displaced. They go in a lot of difficult times as a result of fear, and because they already most of them have had the experience of past wars in Liberia, and hearing about another war is intimidating or is scary. But if the Speaker of the House is calling the FRRC to intervene, is there a manner in which the Speaker should make such a request to the FRRC to intervene, like intimidating or threatening the FRRC that if you don't intervene in 48 hours, and then you show up here? I don't think the approach is
okay. So let's leave you there and find out from there.
The approach is not appropriate. It's intimidating, it's scary, almost like threatening the FRRC.
We got a lot to cover, gentlemen, tonight.
Yeah.
Now let's leave you there and hear from the Anthony Allor.
Soon to be, Anthony.
Soon to be. But the may have not been licensed yet. The may have not been licensed.
Just let's assume that because the reason why we thought to play this is one is to remind the LRRC, is that LRRC? Yeah. To remind them that the speaker
and the disaster management agency,
and also to remind the speaker that the speaker, spoke about some 48 hours. What are you still checking, or what has elapsed, gentlemen? The speaker said, and you are going to answer the question. You should be the one to.
So
does this 48 hours still active, or it has elapsed now?
Well, I do not speak for the speaker, but basically, like I said yesterday, I actually believe that the speaker spoke out of, I don't want to say ignorance, but he spoke out of his bound as the Speaker of the Parliament, because you cannot be in a branch of government and giving another officers in the executive an ultimatum to take certain decisions.
So you think he was wrong?
So basically he was wrong in his approach. What he could have done after assessing the situation was to communicate to the head of the executive and say, look, these are the situations that we've seen our people going through. We need the intervention of these state apparatus to be able to alleviate some of the challenges that we see our people are going through.
Okay.
And then based on that, it would be the executive, because the people work directly under the executive branch of government. Secondly, even the issue of getting resources from the executive branch of government, you have to raise virtue, you have to go through those things. Doesn't take one day. Now, like my brother George Kennedy jokingly said, we probably will not counting Saturday and Sunday. So probably the 48 hours started on Monday and today Tuesday. So we're still in the but
let's assume,
however,
this is the question I want to answer if I come to George. Let's assume LRRC didn't go in there and the disaster management didn't go in there. Does their delay or refusal, does it in any way constitute that contempt?
No, it doesn't. Now, contempt of the legislature is basically clearly spelled out in the Constitution. See, if your actions impede the legislative function, what is happening there? It is squarely a function of the executive, because it has to do with the national security.
So then, why did the speaker why did this talk about contempt?
Like I said, sometimes it is the anxiety, and now, mind you, the problem with most of our lawmakers is that they are not guided by professional people. Let's be realistic here.
Okay.
Now, if you have a speaker, the speaker is supposed to have people in his office that are legally minded, that will advise him. The speaker needs to have people who will write his communication. The speaker needs to have people who will even brief him on situations and so forth. The speaker just don't get up to go everywhere and just make comments, because they were saying, when you are a state actor, it comes with responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
The comments you make, what you say, it carry a weight. Take for example, if I walk down Broad Street and slap a person, right? Maybe we got into a fight. It's not going to make a news. God forbid, if the Minister of Finance leave from his office and walk on Broad Street and slap someone,
it will make news.
And then they get into a fight, it make news. So that's why when you are at a certain level,
which I know it's not possible,
you have a responsibility on your shoulder. You have a responsibility on your shoulder to be very careful on your utterances, on what you do, on how you interact with people.
So in another word, you are saying that the speaker misspoke.
The speaker 100% misspoke.
Okay, Josh, let's hear.
The speaker
and the 48 hours had elapsed. So
no,
we
Saturday.
Well, the speaker didn't make mention of that.
The speaker misspoke. I think I didn't want to say this yesterday, but let me say. He was trying to impress the president, because in the president's county, in the president's district. So he tried to show that, we can do things. Crewman, that showing power.
No.
No,
I disagree. I disagree.
I've never gone down there to speaking about.
So I could people there.
Happened to the speaker. Happens to a lot of people in government. They always like to impress to the extent that they are bosses, to the extent that in fact they don't care about the rest of the thing. They just go blunder.
Wow.
Yes. So what the speaker did down there, respectfully, I would say he misspoke. He doesn't have the constitutional backing. And I felt very happy today when you talk about lawyer. He and Councillor Good met today.
Yes, sure.
Yesterday, yes. I think trying to get some legal, because Councillor Good.
Now, why is supposed to have done first?
Yeah, so because of these things, these challenges he faced with in the media, other things, his activities, I think professionals.
But that brings
I hope he opens his doors to allow this young man to help him.
Yeah.
He's not a bad man, but he's a lot of blunders. I think he can work on it. He's human being. The position too big. I'm serious with this thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope I shouldn't be here.
Moses, have you spoken on it for 8 hours? Are you checking?
How you be here?
Honestly speaking, the speaker himself gave a directive. He said the people to start moving as of right. That was the directive as of Monday. You guys are in Liberia. How many trucks have you seen?
What is it?
We
Monday.
see a Trump. We see a Trump. But
And
What continue?
wait time is what? Maybe 8 to what? 8 to 4. So I would say we take up Monday. As I speak to you right now, it's after what? 8 o'clock in Liberia, right?
yeah, yeah.
Means that your official working time is over. We can say technically the 48 hours he's talking about have expired. Again, like, let me go back to what my brother Pamela said weeks ago. He told us, gentlemen, the man was not ready for the speakership. Mr. Pamela, you remember that, right?
I do.
Mr. Kuhn, his election came as what? Accidental. He's just not ready for the job. He's not. I don't want to go through. Let me just leave it like that.
Okay, so gentlemen, will soon transition. Although we'll be talking about the same issue concerning the border, but I think that all of you said our officials of government, they got to be very, very they got to be careful as to how you speak to your people, so that you don't say things at the end of the day, if they don't happen, they see you to be a deceiver or a liar. How do you go to the county, not even having a conversation with the LRRC or you? How do you? And you go there, you tell the people, LRRC and disaster management, I want you per year in 48 hours. How do you show leader and power like that? We're hoping, man, and at the end of the day, my frustration is, at the end of the day, these things reflect on the government overall. The person, government will tell something at the end, government can't do it. Look at those people in FOIA. Those people, they need help. You go there, you raise that hope that in 48 hours you have the LRRC to go there. In fact, they are not refugees. That one thing you should have known. They are internally displaced people. They are not refugees. So how do you send LRRC there? And look, it's troubling. It's troubling. We're hoping that our people can really.
And do you do the budget for those entities?
You don't even know the budget.
In fact, today, as Moses spoke last night, I actually went into the budget. The disaster management budget is 900,000, and it's basically just for salaries. LRRC is I think a little over $1 million.
And I doubt that he knows.
And
I think it's because
no, they should know because they play with it. They allocate those monies.
On that budget, if we're going to go to FOIA, no, man, it's problem, man.
And now the speaker is proving his critics right that actually he's not incompetent. He's not competent, I mean. He is inexperienced in terms of the position of speaker. Because if you were competent and and knowledgeable in terms of leadership at the House of Representatives, you wouldn't have sounded the way you sounded. You wouldn't have sounded the way you sounded. No, I'm not disputing his professorship. But what I'm saying is that, look, you have a professional in your office, a journalist. Our own brother Vasily Sumo, right? Vasily Sumo. He's a professional in your office. There are other lawyers. Now we understand you consulting with a lawyer after you made that statement. It's almost like putting the horse before the cart. Or consult the lawyer or the lawyers and the professional in your office before coming public.
Okay, all right. So let's
show that we shouldn't give people any position.
No. I disagree with that. No. You see now, I see the kind of trouble politics. No, how you come with that kind of trouble politics? Trouble politics. No, the speaker is another disgrace to the crew people.
Gentlemen, we got to add a
committee. Stop the trouble politics.
We have to add a committee there.
Stop the trouble politics.
Let's try quickly because we have an interview with Mr. Emmanuel Gonkwe. He just called back. We'll be speaking of him very shortly. But let's discuss this. Gentleman has been making rounds. The report has been making rounds that members of the House of Representatives they are gearing up to return because of the current situation, and part of their return is to nail their colleague Yeka Koriba. That's the report we are gathering. Gentlemen, let me ask first. Let me ask you first, comrade. You are the student of law here. Does the statement, let's assume that yes, the lawmakers are coming back. If I been trending, let's assume that as part of what they're intending to do on the return is to impeach Yeka Koriba, because, like we all know, his voice was played on the television, on the radio, in gaming. Does that waft
impeachment?
Does that is that because of what he said? Can he be impeached because of that by his colleagues?
So it is rhetorical. I will not answer yes or no.
Okay.
Because under the law, every citizen should be accorded due process. So if Representative Yeka Koriba can put up a proper defense to defend his statement, who knows? His colleague might say, well, your comment might be inflammatory, but it doesn't constitute maybe
because you said it outside
of the legislative proceedings. However, Honorable Koriba swore to an oath to protect, defend the Constitution of Liberia, quote unquote, which also include the security, the sanity, and the integrity of the land of Liberia. So even if he's not within the perimeter of plenary, he's on a solemn oath to protect the Constitution, to protect the sovereignty of Liberia. So such comments made by him that has the propensity to create whatever, issues that we are now into could seem impeachable offense to his colleagues. But like I said, it is within the purview of his colleagues to determine the gravity of the statement, the weight of that statement, and then they will definitely give him the due process to come with, a legal person to represent him, to say exactly, what he intended to say or what he meant to say. That's a political theater. However it is, they control their own space. They have their own rules that govern them. However, the rules should not contravene the Constitution. So therefore, these are events that are now sparking up. I read, I think, something from Honorable Small Moluba. He's requesting, I think, either a lesser punishment or so. For him, he doesn't see them going that route for impeachment. But again, it depends on how Honorable Koriba approached the situation. If the lower house or the legislature reconvene, and if they're going to reconvene solely on this matter to have an impeachment proceeding against him, he will have to be given a due process.
Now, George, Yeka could be claiming that I was speaking based on the 1907 document that the Guineans are also speaking about. What do you think?
In fact, I'm sorry they sent you that video. He tried to clean his statement today on Spoon. It called special. And he even dumped himself. He denied ever making such statement. They allowed him to talk, and he said, "Can we play a voice?" He said, "To play it." Yeka said, and I quote, "From his own investigation he has conducted, And from what the people that have lived power there for more than 100 years told him, the evidence that he has, that particular area is for Guinea. I mean, the video, you know, this and that. That particular area
So
is for
does
Guinea.
that constitute impeachment?
Anyway, let me clarify this first. Members of the House cannot be impeached. They can be expelled, suspended. All right. Impeachment is actually for people elected in the executive or people on the Supreme Court benches or people in the, so they can be removed. They can be expelled.
So the police can expel him based on that?
Well, that is within our purview, because the thing is, Honorable Koloba, his character in the election, he's been on time bomb. He's always been warned. And this one is even above, because this is direct constitutional breach, in my opinion. That's why I said he's the major constitutional breach, because he took oath, as Mr. Fambule said, to protect and defend the Constitution of Liberia. The Constitution of Liberia limits its authority to the territorial boundary of Liberia, which is breached. And what I'm gathering is that more than 4 lawmakers have already submitted a complaint, formal complaint, because of the way the Guinean authority taking his comments, because he's a decision maker in Liberia.
Okay, let's hear from Moses. Moses, let's hear from you. What's your take on?
Okay, let me come on 2 perspectives on this.
And I said we should be playing host to Mr. Bonko quickly. Moses, let's hear from you.
Yeah, quickly, let me just summarize. The situation on hand. The situation we have on him, whether he can be expelled or not, that has to be established legally. Due process. And this is where I disagree with Mr. Pamela. He said Yeke Koloba took an oath to uphold the laws of the country. I agree. But that does not mean if the House or the government of Liberia is doing something that is considered illegal, Yeke Koloba should stand in defense of that. No. So the burden of proof is now on those lawmakers who have accused Yeke of saying or making a pronouncement that they claim have the propensity of undermining the laws of Liberia, undermining the free activity of Liberia. Don't forget, the Guineans have a legal instrument. The 1907, the law that clearly states that where we're talking about belongs to the Guinean. If that can be proven in court, if that can be proven as part of the investigation,
no, please.
Then you would be right.
Okay. Moses, 1 minute. George wants to provide
the
information.
1907 did not say the inland, the land side of Liberia, where Liberia is for Guinea. That boundary speaks about the Simakona River. Go back again and read. It's there. So I don't want also use the evidence to say enough document that say that.
So George,
yeah, please.
Yeah, so George, let me say this. This is where again due process going to play out. A group of people not going to run a kangaroo hearing and say, Yeke, you can go. No. Yeke is going to put up a defense.
Well, I said that.
The lawyer, that what happened. Yeah.
His legal team will put up a legal defense, and those who are accusing him will have to prove that. Let's leave it.
That is obvious.
All right, let's hold you there. Dave, quickly.
Yeah, that is obvious that anyone that is accused of committing a crime or doing the wrong thing will all put on defense. It's obvious. In most cases, people who are accused of doing the wrong things, and when the law try to hold them responsible, they'll put up a defense. So that is obvious that Yeke will put up a defense. Okay. But Yeke has admitted that he said it. That he has admitted that he said it. And he's on an oath. He breached the Constitution. He took oath, and that warrants his expulsion from the House of Representatives. It warrants his expulsion.
No, the fact that you are assuming.
No.
Okay, gentlemen,
I'm not assuming. I say a warrant. Warrant. In fact, the comments are treasonable. It warrants expulsion from the legislature, but it depends, as somebody said. It depends. Whatever
we have Mr.
it depends whatever way the House of Representative authorities that will take it.
Let's try to speak with Mr. Gongwe quickly. We have him on the line, and then after which we'll talk about other issues. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat, rented on Prime FM 105.5. This program is also being streamed live on Prime FM on Rovia 105.5, also streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Just share the video. Want to share the video so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow what's happening tonight on the program. We have Mr. Gonkwe on the line, Emmanuel Gonkwe of the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia. Welcome to the program, Mr. Gonkwe.
Good evening, and good evening to your co-host. Good evening as well to Liberians following your platform.
Okay, so we wanted you to come on camera, but unfortunately, you said where you are, you can't. But we really wanted you to come on camera so that we all can interact with you easily. But since you can, I think we can still continue with the interview.
Like I said, I was at my party headquarters. We were having the party meeting, so I could not have made myself available on camera. And I'm just driving home. I'm still uncomfortable to be on camera, but we can proceed with the interview.
Okay, first we want to hear from you, Mr. Gonkwe. We've been reading in the papers and reading online about some press statement that you released, expressing in that statement, you did express frustration over the UP alliance, and you are warning a shift. You said there could be a shift if things that you want to be addressed cannot be addressed. So it means that you are not quite happy with the alliance that you entered and with the administration that you helped to also give birth to. How factual is that?
Well, as you may know by now, the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia is not a coordinated political organization. We believe in what we believe, and whenever we are injured in a particular negotiations or political process, we speak out our minds. We are a radical left-wing political party, as everybody should know by now. So we usually express our dissatisfactions in a way we do. What I wrote on my page is something I take full responsibility and it reflects the party's current position. We are deeply dissatisfied and totally unhappy with the way in which the alliance is proceeding. We believe that the alliance favors one group of people and does not favor the rest of the other political institutions that help to bring the government to power. We believe strongly that people are making a lot of mistakes and leadership missteps is taking place. We believe strongly that the current alliance leadership held by the Deputy Foreign Minister, Gilbert Sili, is worthless, useless, and there's a need for the alliance leadership to change, even only if we are to make progress.
Now, if we were to just be specific, to start some instances where the administration and you all brought to power, it's making a lot of mistakes and no one is speaking out. Could you just start some instances? Let's hear from you.
So when I say leadership missteps, I'm emphasizing again on the way in which the alliance is proceeding, because some of our right, as leaders of the various alliance party, we should be meeting every quarterly or every month to look at the performances of the government, to look at what were some of the things we agree on that we will have achieved during the campaign process. But as it stands, some of the leadership mistake is that since we became a government, there's no time that the alliance leader met to look at Liberia, and look at the governance issues, to look at some of the problems that happen in the country. For example, we have a major, bullet dispute. We have a major crisis right now at the Liberia Guinea border. But as alliance members, we should be in a discussions, and we should be in a discussion talking about, how, we can rectify some of the issues. And the alliance member, we should be updated. But as I speak, I can say this to you as well, that there has been no single day that the alliance member will call to meet and discuss the issue related to the Guinea-Liberia border situation. So that is a major leadership mistake, because even in Israel, for example, every time there are major issues, you always find, the right-wing government headed by Netanyahu, calling for alliance meetings for political parties and political actors to meet and discuss. Unfortunately, we find ourselves in a situation where we are in alliance, major issue bordering on the country's sovereignty and the country's security is going on, by alliance political actors are not informed, and there's no meeting. It's so sad. I don't know how people see politics in Liberia, but like I always said, people think that politics is just about hustling for a job and coming to hustle for a job and get the appointment in government, but we in the EFL don't believe that, politics should be about hustling for a big job. It should be about delivering services, for the people who usually, go out in the slum to campaign, people who stand out in a long queue to vote, But sadly, it is not what we see. So for the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia, our goal of supporting His Excellency President Joseph Yuma Boakai was that we wanted to see a better Liberia. Then we are committed to supporting him. But what we are not going to allow is, for people to miss the leadership.
Now, I know my colleagues are coming, but let me ask this question quickly before they can come. Emmanuel Gonkwa, you are not, just an individual who supported the president, but you have your own influence. You can even drive to the house of the president. You see him anytime. Besides, you have your voice. You can speak very loudly, knock the doors of your colleagues, and put things in proper perspectives, than to speak out publicly and criticizing your own institution that you helped brought to power.
Well, like I said in my writing, I believe in system, I believe in structure, I believe in organizations, and the EFL is a disciplined political organization. So we, after the elections, recognize a structure, and that structure is held by the deputy ministers for administration at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Gabriel Silly. Now, that structure is basically tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that whenever there are crises like these, the alliance political party make a decision. Unfortunately, that structure is not performing. It is our responsibility And every time you see the EFFL as a responsible political organization within the alliance coming out in the public to speak, means that we have exhausted all internal bureaucracy. And once we exhaust internal bureaucracy and we see no redress, it is our responsibility to come out in the public to say, look, we've done this, but nobody want to listen. Now, because tomorrow, the Liberian people will respect that everyone in this country has for the EFFL. They will question us as to what were the decisions of the EFFL during the tenure of the administration. What did we do? How did we critique the government, our own government? Because we are known for critiquing, previous government. We were, one of the loud voices against the administration of George Weah. So we did not bring President Bouaga to power, to come and criticize him all of the time. We brought him to power to support him. And we are doing that with our heart. We are doing that with commitment. We are doing that with principle. We are doing that with discipline. But I can say this for sure. The EFFL would not be silent when things are going wrong. We will point out the mistakes because Liberia is the only country the EFFL cherishes a lot.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me ask my colleagues to also post that question. Yeah, David.
Yeah. So, Mr. Gongwe, are you suggesting, Mr. Gongwe, my name is David Tagbert. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, David, I'm getting you.
Okay, Mr. Gongwe. Yeah, Gongwe, thank God that you hear my voice today, Gongwe. So are you suggesting that the fact that the government is doing everything possible to call their attention, but has not contacted the EFF, how do you call it? EFFL as part of the alliance? Are you suggesting that the government hasn't contacted you or got you involved, or are you suggesting the government is proceeding wrongly? And the other question is that, are you feeling unimportant? Is the EFFL feeling unimportant? The fact that the government has not brought us into whatever the arrangement is proceeding with in terms of quelling the tension at the border?
Well, Mr. Tagbert, like I said, right, the EFFL is not just an ordinary institution.
No, I know that.
We are a political institution.
No, Mr. Gongwe, excuse me, sir. No, wait, I don't want you to be repetitive. You said all that. My question is, you said that the government is proceeding wrongly. Even whether it's whether it is even, well, no matter what efforts it's making to resolve this problem, you see the government is proceeding wrongly because as far as what I've heard from you, the government has not contacted you or got you involved in terms of what it's doing to resolve the problem. It doesn't mean that you're feeling important or the EFFL is feeling important or unimportant, or because you are not involved, so the government is proceeding wrongly. Is that what you're suggesting?
So I spoke holistically about the approach of the alliance political party.
It is a government.
And I want to be
the alliance.
I want to be very unequivocal on this. The Unity Party did not win the elections as Unity Party. The Unity Party won as an alliance. So there are 22 political parties that make up of the Unity Party's alliance. So if there is major issues like the Guinea-Liberia Ebola situations, I think it is just fair enough. Take the EFFL out of it, for example, but I think it is just fair enough that you have a national conversation on, the Guinea-Liberia Ebola situations. I think it's just fair enough that you reach out to the alliance political parties, have a discussion, roundtable discussions, and brief the alliance political parties as to what is unfolding, because we came together, we campaigned together, we won the election together, we must govern together. But if a major situation like what is happening right now with the Guinea-Liberia Ebola situation is occurring, And the alliance stakeholder political parties are not meeting to talk about the future of the country, then it raises issues.
Okay.
Okay, my final question. Sorry. My final question.
One question.
My final question. So
Okay.
almost like a follow-up.
Okay.
So, Mr. Gongwe, as part of the alliance, let's assume that they agree that you were not contacted by the government or the alliance as part of it. Does it stop you from making any suggestion that you think can help in terms of resolving the problem?
So the first thing is that I told you initially we have different channels to communicate, and we have done our phone calls. We have reached out to different stakeholders. We have suggested, in fact, I was one of those who called the foreign minister, when I came from Guinea, telling her thank you for the engagement in Guinea and all of that. So we have exhausted all of the diplomatic channel, all of the bureaucracy that we can. But I'm saying to you, it is just responsible enough that when you go to a political marriage that won an elections, it is just very necessary enough to call for the meeting and say, look, as an alliance, we are faced with a challenge, and that challenge is bordering on our territorial integrity.
Okay.
How can we solve this problem? I may have gone to the executive mansion. I may have spoken to other leaders of the government, but as an institution, the alliance is an institution. What is the position of the alliance? What form of briefing are we getting? We are just struggling to get briefing from different connections that we have in government. This is wrong. You never see that happen in Israel, for example. I will continue to speak of Israel because this is the only country where I know that most of the elections end up being won by coalitions and alliances. And the way people conduct alliances and coalitions in different countries, I'm not seeing that in Liberia.
Okay.
In Liberia, look, I see alliances and coalitions in Liberia, meaning that group of people just come together to win power. And then after winning power, they don't govern together, and it's disappointing.
Okay.
Because every political party should have a chance to communicate their ideals throughout the governing process of the coalitions or the alliance.
Okay, so let's hold you there. Mr. Edwin Famula wants to ask you his question. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Gongwe. Let me say thank you. Yeah, because I clearly listen to you now. I think your major problem is with the alliance, the leadership of the alliance, right? And it doesn't seem like it's actually with the government itself. Now, as a member of the alliance, what initiative or what suggestion are you making to make sure that you probably have a new leadership in there? Because since the government came to power, if the deputy minister who has this alliance is not carrying out his function to get all of you guys on board, what initiative can you guys take to bring new people on board so that you have this holistic approach towards the whole governance issue?
Well, I have spoken to a couple of different political parties in the alliance, and I'm ensuring that we remove the deputy speaker of the ASP, that the alliance go to elections and conduct an elections and elect new leadership of the alliance, because what I see a bunch of people who believe that we came to power for jobs. They are celebrating in jobs, then celebrating the issue that has to do with service delivery to the country, that we claim to love. So for us, we joined the alliance because we believe in Liberia. And nobody can dispute the fact that EFL believes in Liberia. We will continue to celebrate our country, and we will continue to remove every obstacle that will hold the country backward. So the who are in power now in the alliance that are not doing what the alliance should be doing, we are ensuring that we remove them.
Okay.
And in the next few days, we will remove.
Okay. Another question for you.
Good evening, Gongo. This is George Kennedy. Yeah. In your introductory remarks, you said that one group of people are more favored in the alliance. Could you care to maybe say to us which group?
So as it stands now, the reason why I say one group of people are so favored in the alliance is because the alliance leadership, they hold the position of the alliance, and they only discuss issues pertaining to their own interests, and not the rest of the other alliance members. So I even said in my write-up, look, how long will alliance party members hold their grieving structure that they have now? Because there are people in alliance that are grieving. The alliance has become a bittersweet alliance. There are people grieving, they don't want to speak. They come to the EFFL asking the EFFL to speak for them to believe that, like I say in my post, they believe that, they need to be on the table and they're not on the table. And the only institutions in the alliance that can boldly speak is the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia. So they come to us asking us to speak, and we'll do that for them. However, like we said in the communique that I put out yesterday, how long will these leaders of the various alliance political parties will continue to hold on? If we don't come together now, the alliance will split. People will have a genuine reason to split. People will have genuine reason to disengage from the alliance. And sooner or later, the alliance will be in disarray. Do we want to see that happening? We don't want to see that happening.
Okay.
Have we exhausted all of the channel? We have exhausted all of the channel. Are people listening? No, people are not listening. People believe they have arrived. The fact that they have 5 jobs, they have arrived. The Liberian people matter anymore? No, the Liberian people don't matter anymore. Their jobs matter the best.
You're making a very strong statement.
So
we will continue to stand. We will continue to engage. We will continue to speak out as we want to, because for us, Liberia comes first.
Finally, from my end, this special group of people here you're talking about, could you name some of them probably and their party? Let's say, for example, Mr. Gabriel Williams. Is he a United Party man? He chaired that.
So the way in which the alliance is structured, because Unity Party is a bigger political institution within the alliance, we resisted the chairman of the Unity Party being the chair of the alliance. So the alliance is being chaired by the Deputy Minister for Administration, Honorable Gabriel City. So we took the Unity Party out of most of the position. So the Unity Party served as an ex-officials on the alliance. So most of the other positions are given to the different political party because we want to check and balance. But as I said, the alliance leaders, because they come from smaller political parties that can't even put a 2% in the street, they feel embarrassed to engage the Unity Party in the government because they have nothing to show. Some of these people, some of these political parties don't even have an office to show. So because they don't have anything to show and they cannot compete for anything, they cannot hold the Unity Party and the government accountable to the alliance and to the people of Liberia. For us, we are a political institution that sends regulations. We are one of the most active political parties. You come to our headquarters every day, you see people. We are engaging across the country. We have a grand plan that we are working on. We have one of the most active political headquarters right now in the country. So we are liberty to say what we want to say.
Okay.
Because the Unity Party is funding anything that we do at our headquarters. We are one of the country, I would proudly say tonight that we consider ourselves currently, based on what we are doing across the country, as the third largest political party in the country.
Okay, so let's try to bring you the last question. Moses, are you there? You can pose a question to him.
No, I do not have. I just want to say something. From what I'm hearing, Mr. Others feel that their input and they feel being exploited.
Okay. All right. So Moses, we'll talk about that during our takeaway because it's not for him. So you don't have a question for him.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. Well, Mr. Gonkwa, thank you very much for taking time off the busy schedule.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the call.
Okay. Now, gentlemen, you're listening to the Nighttime Heat, directed on Prime FM 105.5. Let's try to talk about the takeaway quickly. Let's hear from you, George.
Yes, I think the political leader of the EFFL, who also happens to be my boss, is struck a lot of points. If I was in newsroom tonight, I would have getting headline stories from here, from him. It's always good to speak and speak with logic. He had distinguished the alliance set up from the government itself. Even though they are linked one way or the other, he said if this alliance structure is operating properly, they will be able to checkmate the government. It could make the government to perform better. He also said the Unity Party holds ex-official position on this alliance, which is very strong dichotomy that he drew. But the fact is, I want to see a stronger alliance because these people are from other opposition political parties. They will be able to function properly and checkmate the government on what to do. Not to go around to talk, but they will say, look, we in the alliance, let's do this. We do this, you're doing this, but let's do it better. They won't do that, they will be better. In that way, productivity will be better.
Is there any way we can dichotomize the government from the alliance? Because bulk of those in the alliance, like you said, they have fat jobs and they are all protecting their jobs. Let's hear from you.
Certainly, yes, you can dichotomize the two because we all here know exactly that a single political party it's been very difficult for a single political party to win elections in Liberia. In fact, even during the previous regime, it was a coalition. Different parties came together and then they formed the government. But like Josh said, I think Mr. Gonkwe actually means well in the sense that, look, let us not look at this thing as the Unity Party government. Then look at it as all of us coming together as an alliance and, presented this ticket to Liberian people. And today we in power. In as much as we are in power, we have the authority also to checkmate what we're doing. And, from what he said, it brings me to the issue of one of our own lecturer, Tiawan Gonglo, who's been on, with the broom and saying the president is not doing this. But hey, he's in the alliance.
He's there.
His vice president is his vice presidential candidate is the head of EPA. So if you have all of these things, if the alliance is working, a single person cannot be going in the street and trying to point these things out, against the president. It should be discussed behind closed door. And then the alliance will come out and say, look, Mr. President, we think that this is slagging. And once it comes from the group that assists, that brought the government to power, I think it will have more weight than an individual coming out to say so. So I think the EFFL is on a good track. They need to push further now to have leadership that actually represent the aspiration of the alliance.
Dave, let's hear
it reminds me about the CDC alliance.
CDC was a coalition.
A coalition coalition or alliance. It reminds me of some members of that coalition that expressed similar disappointment. The fact that their own was basically about the what they call the inequitable distribution of jobs, because they were part of the coalition. And in terms of the job distribution, they were left out. So they were a little bit disillusioned about that. But the EFL part of argument is that they're part of an alliance, but they're not being called to be the Unity Party, or the alliance is not making decision-making participatory. That's the grievance or grievances of the EFFL, and nothing that's a genuine concern. The fact that the EFFL is part of the alliance, whatever decision that alliance, things that is in the best interest of the country, and the EFFL being a part of the alliance, whatever all decisions making processes by the alliance should be participatory. That means that all parties in the alliance must be consulted, and their views be solicited in terms of the resolution of some of these emerging national issues.
Okay, let's hear from you, Moses. Your takeaway.
Yeah, look, this is what I'd like to say. There's no dichotomy between the government and the alliance. It is the alliance that brought the government to power. But what is happening when you listen to Mr. Gonkwa is that they feel disgruntled. A lot of them in the alliance feel disgruntled because the UP folks that make up the majority of the alliance membership, they are running the show. People from the smaller parties are not being listened to. When you listen to Mr. Gonkwa, that's what you will hear. People are not being listened to. Views are not being considered because they bring nothing to the table. In recent time, you heard the party chairman, when he put down the effort of other political parties that brought the UP to the current leadership, he minimized the contribution. Many of you here remember that. He minimized the contribution of these political parties. And Mr. Gonkwa is saying that, hey, we all part of the alliance. Let's forget about where you sit at. We should be able to coordinate as a group to run there because this belongs to us. And that is not happening. That's the disappointment that Mr. Gonkwa and the others have. They feel what? Being exploited by the UP. That's my take.
All right, so gentlemen, you said there's no dichotomy between the alliance.
Yes, that is complete. If you look at the alliance, if the issue of power, the foreign minister is a standard bearer of another party. You will see, we're just talking about EPA, we can go to name you all the big positions of those people in the alliance holds in the government. What is lacking is that what Mr. Gonkwa is saying, I'm gathering from him, because of what these people have gotten, they feel complacent now to gather together to meet to really bring about governance. The United Party is an ex-official on the alliance. Yeah. It's not really part in the decision-making person or group in the alliance. That's why I got up from Honorable Gonkwa. So with this, look, the honors on these people. That's why you see him pushing for a fresh leadership in the alliance, so they can be able to have that voice. It seems that the president wants to listen. It seems that he can push it. He and I work together. He's always at the president, but can one person do it? So I think they should muster the courage, because time is fast spent. I mean, we're going to 2027. We're soon getting a political year. It's not too late for them. They can get together to push. Yes, probably they were working together. They will even achieve more than what the government has achieved right now.
Okay, gentlemen, let's talk about our final bus stop today. And it has to do with renewed disagreement at the Liberia Broadcasting System at LBS. And LBS being the state broadcaster, we thought that things should be done properly there. But as we speak, the new deputy for administration, I think she's just about out of 2 months in office, or a little over 2 months. She's accused of director general, and that has been all in the media. Let's read what we have here quickly. I will try to upload a photo and put that photos on the screen. LBS Deputy Director Conte accused DG Fagon of financial misconduct. Okay, the Deputy Director General for Administration of the Liberia Broadcasting System has accused Director General Eugene Fagon of financial misconduct, abuse of office, and misapplication of institutional funds. She alleged that Fagon has been making unilateral financial decisions without management approval or proper oversight. She claimed the Director General expended US 20,000 provided by President Joseph Zuma Boakai for the LBS building turnover ceremony without adequate transparency for several weeks. She further alleged that an additional US 10,000 voucher allocated for the same program was found, while about US 500 received from the Chinese embassy was also mismanaged. The Deputy Director General cited other conditions from entities, including the National Port Authority and the Liberia Maritime Authority, as funds she believes were improperly handled. Contem said she remains committed to exposing what she described as irregular financial dealings, despite alleged threats and intimidation. Fagon has repeatedly denied corruption allegations at LBS and has not publicly responded to the latest claims as of press time. Now, gentlemen, we tried calling our source today when we started seeing all the write-ups and information on social media and the mainstream media. And we were told that this new deputy had just taken over. And since she took over by right, as deputy for administration, she should be handling the issue of scratch cards, gas, and all of that. Yeah. But she's not. Salary, but she's not. And we understand from the sources reportedly that Fagon had been unilaterally running the state broadcaster. And this madam managed to do her own internal investigation. In fact, at one point in time, Fagon even brought police on the deputy for technical services, something that had not happened before. And besides, in recent time, we understand that Fagon submitted about 11 checks to her for individuals who he said he was taking to rural Liberia to do some work. But amongst the checks, the name of the deputy for technical services, who's supposed to be on the trip, name was not there. The deputy for rural broadcasting, name was not there. Rather, his two secretaries and other close individuals who are close to him are those people whose checks he sent to the deputy for administration, and she said she's not going to sign it. So as we speak, there's a board meeting that's been planned for tomorrow, but there's the crisis. This crisis has been on for quite a long time now, since the new management team has been at LBS. In fact, the deputy for media services, Hassan Keu, and the rest of and Fagon, in fact, they are not on speaking term. Likewise, Fagon and the management team is split, according to sources. The management team is split. Let's hear from you. Let's discuss this for maybe for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, it's about if you want to start with me. Look, the first thing I must applaud the brave.
In fact, if you if you're watching the program online, you see the two individuals who are who are now clashing. Yeah, the deputy for administration and Fagon.
The first thing I must applaud the courage of the deputy minister, the newly deputy director for administration of the Liberia Broadcasting System. Look, this government came on the matter of accountability, transparency and accountability. So she's quite correct in raising the red flag that financial resources or resources intended to run LBS are not properly being managed or are unilaterally being expended, without the input of other deputies or other officials of the state-run broadcaster, like the Liberia Broadcasting System. And we have been hearing all these things about the issue of disunity or uncomfortable working environment at the Liberia Broadcasting System as a result of how it is being run by the head, the Director General of that state-owned broadcasting system. of which I am a product, and the suburb is just an immediate product of the of the state-owned broadcast. So whatever concerns the Liberia broadcasting system also, claims our attention. Quite frankly, if other deputies or other officials of the state-owned broadcasting system are silent because of fear or because of fear of being witch hunted, and I applaud the courage of the Deputy Director General for Broadcasting or Administration, Bohirian. I think she's quite correct to raise a concern. She may be raising a concerns from the point that, as she said, she must have done her own thorough investigation.
Surely.
That means that she's not speaking out of the blue, the blue sky. She's speaking based on facts, but she has to adduce the facts. She has to provide the pieces of evidence that Fagon is wrongly proceeding or unilaterally expending the resources of the station or monies contributed to the resources for his operations, is unilaterally spending them. And that's a good point. It's left with Fagon now to disprove what the Deputy Director for Administration is making.
Okay, let me hold you there. Edwin?
Well, I think this issue of LBS again is coming up. And I think I've said it time of our number on this radio station that there is a need to look at these public corporations. There's a lot of mismanagement in this public corporation, quote unquote. People who are appointed as director general or managing director believe that they are presidents of their own. And it's basically because most of the boards in these institutions are rubber stamp. The board do not put their foot down to say, Mr. Managing Director, you were appointed with code of officers, and all of these code of officers have their own function. So allow them to do their work and do not oversee their jobs. This is not unique to LBS. Look, if you do a survey, you go to most of these public corporations, there's vehement abuse of power in those places also. But people do not see it because some of these deputies want to keep their job. Some of them want to get, at odds with their bosses also. So people do all of these things. So Fagon is actually reading from the book of these institutions. Now, this should claim the immediate attention of the leadership of this country. And if these allegations are facts, the GSC and other integrity institutions should go in there and audit, because first of all, the MD is not the one who actually supposed to be involved in these things. He's at the end of the chain.
Yeah, the MG.
So you allow the people in there, the administration, other people to do their job, and then when it come to you for final decision. But if you are the one taking the decision and even bypassing the people, then where is the check and balance in there? You are not appointed to those positions because they want to make you president of that institution. No, you are an appointee by the president, and the president also appoints other deputies to work along with you because the president knows that you alone cannot run the institution. But this thing, and because Mr. Fagon feels or believes that he has some level of protection within the cycle of the leadership, so he can do anything that he wants to do.
Okay, Josh.
And let me just start from where you ending. That could be the mistake. The board meeting that is coming up, if anything comes up that way and recommendation made to the president, definitely action will be taken.
The president should take action.
And I want to commend the bravery of this lady, because sometimes, it's good sometimes to forget about a paycheck and face a reality. It's, in our setting, it's not easy for a lot of people to do. I know Mr. Fagon, he's social. He's the kind of person who like this kind of liability and all that thing. And probably he didn't really check this lady. Somebody just come in and you're doing that. You didn't work with them for long to see. Probably they were sent there to really see what you're doing. You don't know. And in the shortest possible time, this type of thing is mind-boggling. I'm not saying that he did it, but I think it has created room for investigation, which in that board meeting that you just hinted us about. Sure. Yes, it will be discussed, and probably if they didn't handle it correctly in that boardroom, it will come outside with a board meeting.
But before I go to Moses, the unfortunate thing is that since the appointment of Fagon and the rest of the team, there has been this whole divide. The era has been toxic. So I think Fagon should have taken cue to say, look, the name of the institution has been dragging the mud out there under my leadership. I think I have to perform well, protect my space, that any new person coming in will not be part of, because it shows now that Fagon is the problematic figure amongst the team there.
And mind you, let me just issue is that sometimes some executives, ex-executives of LBS, someone that can take it to him, and I can attack them on Facebook. I can go over and say, no, you're not the right person. Because if you do, people feel that that malice, you still want a job that you want. Someone can come after me and say, no. I said, no, I'm just saying that to advise you, because whatever the person doing, you can't rely. With this thing that is, chief.
And I agree with Famule when he said, look, if you see officials of government or heads of these kind of public corporations are behaving the way Fagon is behaving, that means that they trust their proximity, to the power that be. I mean, they feel untouchable. They feel that there's no way that action can be taken against them.
Let me hold you there. LBS has a board, and with all of the noise at LBS, what is the chairman of the board saying?
Why the board chairman?
Why has he been quiet on that?
Okay, the board chair is the information minister. And guess what? Even Fagon has blocked the information ministry from airing a program on LBS until the information ministry pays. You heard about that, right? So that shows you how powerful Fagon is, how powerful Fagon feels he is. He blocked a program coming from the Ministry of Information.
So in addition,
why then did the chair of the board did?
So the chair of the board, the chair of the board is one person on the board. I think the board speaks through the chair.
Yeah,
the chair is there to announce the decision.
Yeah,
of the board. Probably he are not getting the support on the board. Nobody knows.
So
nobody knows.
So that's why I say in my opinion statement that most of these boards are actually
sometimes that's why this particular issue.
And the LBS board comprises Cyrus Barrio, Kwame Clement, and
those are veterans.
So let's hear from Moses quickly. Yeah. Moses, let's get your take on this.
Look, guys, I listened to all of you. Let me make a full disclosure. I know Kadiato content. We belong to the same professional organization, the Association of Liberian Journalists in America. I want people to know this. Kadi is a friend, she's a sister, and a professional colleague. Kadi is highly educated as compared to Fagon. Eugene Fagon is an epitome of the downside of political patronage. There are too many problems with Fagon. Educated. He's unqualified for this position. He was handpicked not because of competence, but because of political patronage. That's why he's there. Fagon feels inadequate because if Fagon has to supervise Moses Sandy, who is highly educated than him, when he sees Moses Sandy, he's going to feel intimidated. And that's what happened with Fagon at LBS. Hansan Kiewu, who is deputy for media services, holds 2 graduate degrees a career journalist. Fagon just cannot stand him. He has a deputy administration who also holds graduate degree. He feels intimidated by these people, so he has become a tyrant. He has made the work environment toxic. He feels that everybody should be amenable to him because he has connection with people in the government.
And this is not her person here now. You
and this is actually taking LBS down to the ground. I had a conversation with a colleague at LBS who is also in a senior management position. And I told this gentleman, I said, look, under no condition, I'm also sending you with graduate degree, we go to Liberia and report to someone like Fagon, who is not at my level. You know, I certified under no condition, you know, but here people know what they're doing. So you have a manager who thinks everything is centered around him. And unfortunately, the board of directors that we have at LBS, I don't think the board is being effective. Because the crisis that we're talking about here didn't start with this woman. You have all the deputies at local oil with one man, everybody.
Of the workers was dismissed.
Recently, you had a promising young man resign from LBS. The guy said he was literally harassed by the director general for every show that he held. The director general would go after him. Oh, what? How much did this person get? This guy was consistently being harassed by the director general, and he had to walk away. LBS is going down the drain, and the president has to act. The board is ineffective because a stronger board, Eugene Fagon will not be director general by now. So the president must say LBS. That's all I can say.
And it's troubling that LBS will be going down the drain under the rescue administration. It is troubling. All what we're hearing today at LBS we never heard before. Far before. I mean, under the administration, like I said, I worked there for 2 years on the CDC administration. LBS is structured in such a way that the director general is the head. He has deputies, and all those deputies control their area. You have the deputy for media services, who is responsible for radio, television, and online. How do you take an online program or online division and online department and you place it on a guy who's call him his name?
D-Flow.
That whole segment is under Hassan Kiao, who is the deputy for media services. He runs radio. That's the position I was occupying. That's the last position I just came from. 2 years I occupied a position. You run radio, you run television, you run online. So how do you take D-Flow? You made D-Flow head of new media. For what? How you messed up LBS? Besides, LBS also has additional divisions. You have the division for administration, which Kadiatu is now heading. The division for rural broadcasting, which Nangwe is now heading. The division for technical services, which one of our comrades is now heading. Then you are about to make a trip to the rural part. The deputy for technical services is now on the trip because you got put on with it. The deputy for rural. How do you? I mean, the rural broadcasting. This is my disappointment. Our days at LBS, we didn't see these things happening because at the director general knew her role. The other deputies knew their role. Simple. In fact, on every Monday, we were meeting in a technical, in a senior management staff meeting. In fact, we'll go to that meeting. We are in a meeting from 10 o'clock straight to 3, 4 o'clock. All the divisions bringing their issues on the table, like division for technical services. The man comes in a meeting. Oh, as we speak, about 4 microphones are down, about 3 studio equipment down. That is recorded, and we find the resources to handle that. The man from Media Services, Rural Broadcasting Council, although the correspondents, about 4 of them, we just, they got problem, we need to recruit. Look, when you run the system like that, where everybody has a role to play, you have a smooth but how do, as a Director General, you're doing things unilaterally? Look at the new deputy who just went in there. The new deputy for administration who just went to LBS. You and the woman that got a feud between you. How do you treat? The reason why some of us will get very emotional because that our alma mater, LBS produced some of us before we left want to start radio. That's where we came from. So it's just unfortunate. We're hoping that the president should look into this. And my frustration is with the board.
Do we have a problem, guys? Hello? Are you there, George?
Mr. Sandy?
The thing yet, no. The thing yet.
Are you hearing me?
The internet fell with the people, George.
Yeah, with the current, the power, we got power outage.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know,
How many minutes you guys have?
as I grew up, just about 8 minutes.
About 8 minutes.
Yeah. So we can close. We can close.
We come on before that time, then we can. Yeah.
I do not put it.
If you put it on, we can come in and close quickly.
Someone said it.
Like you didn't if I want to call the light off, that man talking too much.
Well, go be called.
That's what in fact, the course when he come into the same what we have to say. You can't even take all the calls.
Some people can call, but I'm talking about today now.
Oh man, you know what? It's like that across almost all the entities.
Now we stay online. They think sharing.
No, it ain't here.
Okay, we'll get ended that.
Yeah.
We'll continue.
So Mr. Sunday, no way for the generator, so we're shutting down. You getting me now?
Yeah, I said we can. I'm hearing you, George. We can continue to. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. Bye bye.
Because the guys are competent, so what they do, they bring that.
Yeah.